Okay, so this week we're going to go over to Bex's flat.
Yeah.
And we're going to interview some students that
don't do art.
They don't do art, so it's going to be a totally different perspective.
Definitely.
From students, the same demographic of people. But anyway, so it'll be different opinions from different people.
You sound so cheesy.
Hello!
Hi girls. We are joined with Tony and Kate. I just want to ask you a couple of questions, see what your thoughts are on the art world today. So I'll start off with, do you think art has a purpose?
I think it's nice to look at.
Okay. Don't have a very much more to...
It's good for like historical merit, because if you only had people writing stuff down, if you didn't have like, you know, murals and old portraits, like we wouldn't know what Henry VIII looked like if you didn't have art.
Fat, ugly, good with the ladies.
Absolutely, absolutely. Oh, that's very good.
Well, I went travelling last summer with a couple of my friends and I went to the Louvre in France.
Okay. What did you think of that?
It was nice to look at.
Yeah. It's kind of dull.
Okay.
I'm not big into art really. No offence to everyone.
We're not offended.
What do you think of art which doesn't necessarily look pretty but has meanings behind it?
You know, we got like a glass of water on a shelf, and then it's like means.
Yeah, I don't get modern art.
No?
Like that whole thing with the bed and there was just loads of clothes on it. I don't really understand that.
You don't think something simplistic maybe, like a glass of water on a shelf, could be classed as art? Do you think it can be? Do you think some things like that can be classed as art?
I'd say that was more. I don't know. I'd say that art was paintings, but then again, that's not. I don't know. That's just my opinion. I'd say that was more sculpting.
Okay. So for you, art needs to have, you know, a decorative kind of appeal. So it's just nice to look at, kind of thing. Yeah. Okay.
Do you think art is a different way of writing? Like some people can get their views across by making art rather than writing it?
Yeah, I think they go hand in hand. I think if you didn't have people who wrote, you wouldn't have people who did art. Not necessarily like portrait pieces, but like the conceptual art, like what you do as well.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't have one, you wouldn't have the other. So if I look at a piece of conceptual, like a glass on a shelf, that inspires me to write something and look for the deeper meaning, even though it's all subjective. It would make me want to write about why the glass was on the shelf, rather than just look at it and go, it's a glass on a shelf.
Yeah, like it's the thinking behind it. Isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. Another question. What do you think of art degrees? Do you think they are valuable or useful?
I think with art, see, people say that my degree is worthless because it's just writing. People don't look on it very highly. I think art tends to get tarred with the same brush sometimes.
Why do you think they don't get looked on very highly?
Because people look at it and think it's just a bit of a flim-flammy, like, you know...
Having fun.
Yeah, but it's a talent. Like, you've got to, like, you know, if you can't paint, if you can't make something, it's just...
It's also like something you can't learn to do.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
You can be taught techniques, but you've got to have...
The artistic flair. Okay, yeah. No, thank you for that. Hello girls, I'm here with Karis and Nicole, two of my flatmates. Would you rather buy a painting or a sculpture?
Painting. Yeah,
painting. Okay, why would you say that?
Takes up less room.
Less room?
Nice. Honest. It's honest. What about a really big painting? And what about a tiny little...
It's probably still easier to put away than a sculpture.
I don't think I've ever seen a sculpture that I was like, I want that in my home.
I like Lion Biting Us at the Louvre, but that's not going to fit.
When you think of sculptures, do you assume that they are larger on scale, off scale, in scale?
Scale.
Yeah, and heavy.
And heavy. Why? Why can't you think of something little? Teeny.
That's just like an ornament.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's true.
Yeah, okay. What is art to you? What is art to you? What, you know, how does it affect you? What do you think?
It doesn't really affect me.
Okay. Do you guys know what installation art is?
No.
You don't know what installation art is?
I imagine like big hanging pieces, like lights and stuff. I'm not sure like what the definition would be, but like
installation.
It can be hanging lights.
Yeah. What
Fridges.
I don't know.
It's in the house. What do they call it with installation?
That's what it is.
So do you think anything of that kind of art?
No.
Have you seen Tracy Emin's bed?
Is that the one to like use condoms?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, that's rubbish.
You think it's rubbish?
Yeah.
So you don't, do you not have
You
an
don't agree
opinion
with
on
that kind of art?
It's not.
You don't think it's art?
You don't think it's art?
Why isn't it art?
It's just a dirty bed. Anyone could do that.
Because anyone could do it.
Do you think because anyone could do it is why it's not art?
I think for something to be art, it has to take skill.
Okay. And what skill to you? Is that painting?
Like painting or
Okay.
like sculpting out of like stone and metal and things that aren't just like in front of a mill.
Do you think concept isn't important in art? Do you think it's all about how pretty something looks?
I think it's all about effort and how it appears, yeah.
And not so much about
you
the
can
idea?
put a concept to most things that nobody else can see.
Sure.
Who do you think the worst artist, like what's the worst art piece you've ever seen?
It was just a brick in a room
Oh,
at the Tate Modern.
at the Tate Modern, you saw a brick
Yeah.
in a room.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't like
Was it a
most
pile of
like
bricks?
modern art. I think
don't-
that's.
Do you think it's a bit over the top? Do you think it's a bit too much to?
I think it's just a bit someone's decided they're going to be an artist by doing something that's absolutely crap, but they put some hidden meaning behind it and say, oh yeah, this is art,
Okay.
when actually it's just a waste of a gallery.
Sometimes like
Sure.
analysing something that's quite abstract is quite interesting at the same time.
Sure.
But I think it's got to have some real meaning rather
Mhm.
than just be like, no, this is what it is.
Mhm.
Because I think I couldn't name any, but I think sometimes it is a bit like they do it to make a point, but the point isn't always that obvious.
Okay. Do you think it can be like sort of seen as pretentious, slightly maybe?
A teeny bit.
It's almost like failed pretentiousness.
Or just
Really?
being controversial for the sake of being controversial?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
It's like they're trying to do something, but they're trying too hard to do it, so
Mm.
it just comes out not
Not.
displaying any message.
Mhm. Yeah, fair enough.
Or would you rather look at a piece and come to your own conclusion about like what it come up with your own idea of how it's come, like how it's been like happened, or would you rather an artist tell you what this
I just
piece
want it
is?
to be obvious in what it is.
Yeah.
Like,
So you think
I
art
don't
should be
get
obvious?
Abstract concept, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's more interesting if you can like have your own
Ideas,
idea
yeah.
about it, but then be told what they actually
Yeah, and
meant
then
for
yeah,
it.
and actually
Sure.
realise what it is in the end, because it would be
Yeah.
totally most of the time it's absolute opposite and stuff.
Yeah, no,
It'd be
absolutely.
totally different.
Do you think if you were
Absolutely.
told about Tracy Emin's bed and like what it actually means and what she actually did to make it, you'd maybe appreciate it more
No.
as an art piece?
No? Is it because the concept's not there? Like that's not the right sort
Yeah, I just think
You don't think
it's not
such...
what I class as art, so
Okay.
I don't see the.
Do you think that not such controversial subjects should be brought up in art?
No, I think art should be controversial. It should just. I don't know. It should just be done in a better way.
of. Okay.
More emphasis on skill rather than.
Yeah.
Sure.
But it's still striking. I think that's a big part of art. So I
So
think make massive paintings because it's striking.
Sure.
So,
Hmm.
but
So
that
you
could
kind of
be
want
some,
art to
like
show itself up and kind of make a point, or to generally sort of be something that stands out.
Be impacting but not.
Impact, yeah, sure. Impacting, definitely.
Would you, in your house, if you were going to buy a piece, have a big painting of a person, like really well done, fruit bowl, things like that, or an abstract piece? Like lots of colours, lots
I
of
wouldn't
marks.
Wouldn't hurt.
No? Is it because of bold? Is it because of the design or the colour?
I
Or
just don't like it.
okay, that's fair enough. What would you have instead?
I probably wouldn't have art. I like photography prints.
Oh, okay.